Big up. What am I saying, bro? Big up to every single one of you that's locked in, man. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing. Hussam Raid. Yeah, don't worry. I tuned in. I heard everything he said. Don't worry, man. I heard everything this guy said. Every single thing. Look. Every single thing. Every single thing that this guy said, I heard. Don't worry. I heard it all, man. I heard it all. Don't worry, I heard it all, man. Listen, guys, make sure we're liking, subscribing, man. We're very close to 2,000 subscribers. We're not that far off to 2K, man. Make sure we're liking and subscribing, man. Show some love to the channel. Listen, bruv. Jonathan, all I'm saying is that the pressure is all on him now. The pressure is on Hussam. The pressure is on Liverpool. Any Liverpool fans in the chat, Hussam, the pressure is on you lot. The pressure is not on me. The pressure is not on me. I'm sorry. The pressure is not on Chelsea fans. The pressure is not on me. It's all on you lot. It's all on you lot. But I'm telling you now, if Chelsea leave Anfield with a W, then it's peak, bro. It's peak. It's peak. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Liverpool, you must. Facts, Jericho. Facts, Jericho, sorry. You must. You absolutely, Liverpool must. Liverpool must beat Chelsea. You have no excuse. You must beat Chelsea. You have to. Otherwise, listen, Chelsea are the shit club, remember? Don't forget, Chelsea are the shit club. Chelsea are got shit manager. Chelsea got shit players. We got no one good. That's fine. Anfield away. The pressure is on Liverpool. The pressure is not on us. But anyway, guys, man, make sure you like and subscribing, man. Show some love to the channel. We are on the road to 2K. Not far off at all, ladies and gentlemen. We're not far off at all. So make sure you show some love and hit that subscribe button. We're here to do a little early season review on Chelsea Football Club. Talking about Chelsea, Maresca, Cole Palmer being the best player in the league, Jadon Sancho's effect, Enzo Fernandez. As usual, there's always talk on Enzo Fernandez. We're here to talk, man. Make sure you like, subscribing. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I am not by myself. I'm with the legend himself, Mr. Casually FC, Mr. Marshall. How are we, brother? Look at that,
man. Legend. I like it. That's good, brother. How you doing?
How are we?
Hey, man, I'm good. I hear the echoes of Hussam. I think he's coping a little bit.
You think?
I think he's coping a little bit. Listen, people want to believe that people who have not watched Chelsea too closely, they want to believe this is the same Chelsea as last season. And Hussam is in denial. So we will show him on the 20th. It will be a great match, and I'm really confident, man. So big up. Thanks for having me on, Ziad. Oh, yeah.
We'll get into it. I'm not going to lie to you. Something this guy keeps making the same mistake about for some reason. For some silly reason, he clearly thinks that it's the same Chelsea. For some reason, he thinks it's the same Chelsea. That it's the same Pochettino. It's the same Chelsea that lost at Anfield. The same Chelsea that lost in Wembley. It's not the same. Is this guy, has he missed the whole summer? Like, was he sleeping the whole summer when we literally got rid of Pochettino and we hired a new manager? Like, did he miss that?
I think he was too busy being upset about the Zubamendi news. So
maybe
with that one, just he can hold that. Zubamendi, Caicedo, no liver not pool.
No, I don't understand that. Liverpool fans, do you not understand this is not the same Chelsea? We have a normal manager now. We actually have a normal manager.
Normal, yeah.
We have a normal person in charge. So it's, and you know what? It is completely different teams. Even him, Slot. It acts like Klopp is still involved. He ain't gonna be there. He ain't gonna be there, bro. So listen, Liverpool fans, I don't know why you lot get so excited. It's fine. It's gonna be a good game. But anyway, listen, the pressure's on you lot. The pressure's on you lot. But we'll get into Liverpool a little bit later, man. Listen, Chelsea so far into the season, I say it's been okay. I think the best way to describe Chelsea's season so far is okay. It's decent. Nothing crazy. Nothing to be really upset about. Nothing to be, I think, totally, gassed about. Obviously, we had the Wolves at the start, towards the start of the season. But you had games at Bournemouth where we won, but we played poorly. Nottingham Forest, obviously, recently. But then you have the West Ham games. But then you have the bloody Crystal Palace games. Like, there's a lot of inconsistency, which I think Chelsea fans expected. I think one game where people really got annoyed was the Nottingham Forest at home. That's what Chelsea fans were like. Why? It was not understandable, but I think the reaction to that game showed that we were actually doing better than a lot of people thought. We were playing better. We were getting better results than a lot of Chelsea fans thought before the season started. But talk to me, Marshall. Listen, how do you see the start of Chelsea season so far? Generally speaking, with the manager specifically.
Honestly, like I think overall has exceeded my expectations. I think it's safe to say that because, Ziad, I don't know about you, but I know the majority of the Chelsea fan base weren't happy with the appointment of Enzo Maresca. And understandably so. Who is Enzo Maresca? What has he done? He's come from Championship. Remember when we were linked with McKenna, how people lost their heads as well about that. So, I personally wanted Ruben Amorim in the summer, but I'm the type of person that as long as you're trying, I'm willing to give it a shot. And seeing the recruitment last year and the scouting last year, I wasn't too upset with the team we had built. And if these same guys are looking out for the manager, and rightfully so, also sacked Pochettino, who was not impressive at all, which shows me some semblance of standards. For me, I was willing to say, you know what? Let's just see what happens. You never know until you try, because there's a demographic of managers out there that don't have pedigree, don't have a history, and they're doing well. Mikel Arteta hadn't coached a team formally until he went to Arsenal, and now look at what he's doing in Arsenal. It didn't start off good, but it eventually, he's not winning trophies, mind you. We're expecting to win trophies. They're happy with top four. I want to win trophies. I want to compete for the league. But nowadays, it's going to have to take giving a manager time, building into a project, and trying out managers based on what fits your system. So for me, this season, I didn't have very high expectations. I was thinking, okay, let's at least minimum get top four. We were really close with a manager who didn't have any tactics. And right now, the way it looks, and I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I know the teams haven't been super, super competitive, but I'm looking at the performances, not so much the results. And the performances have been convincing. And to me, I'm happy with the manager and what he's doing. And it's giving me optimism. It's giving me confidence that we can get top four. This team did it on pure talent. And, Pochettino on the sidelines going, go, run, run, run. I'm sure a manager with some semblance of tactics, a manager that's come from the school of thought of Pep Guardiola. And you've seen those managers, the managers that have learned from, one of the greatest managers of all time. We've seen what they've gone on and done. So I had faith, and you know what? It's paying off, and I'm really happy with the way we're starting the season. Now we're going to get really tested, and we'll see what happens, but I'm confident. And I'm seeing the Chelsea and I'm getting this feeling as a Chelsea fan that I hadn't had in 2 seasons. 2 seasons of not competing. Ziad, you were there in the trenches with us, it was rough. From going from Potter to Lampard again to Pochettino, and now this guy that nobody knows, and now he's exceeding expectations. Man, I can't be any happier.
Yeah. Listen, you're definitely right in saying that no one wanted the Maresca. I don't even know who the guy was. In the summer, I wanted someone. Listen, a lot of people said we need to build foundations, we need to develop these young players, but I wanted someone straight up, Thomas Tuchel, Hansi Flick, and I didn't want anyone else. I wanted Almiron after I knew those 2 names weren't coming in. And then I see this Maresca guy coming in. I'm seeing, okay, he won the championship with Leicester. I'm seeing certain Leicester fans praising him. But at the end of the day, I just felt like he would crumble under the pressure, which we've seen. I think the biggest problems, one of the biggest issues we've seen recently with Graham Potter and Pochettino, whether we like it or not, they crumble under pressure. They've crumbled under pressure. They think they're walking in, thinking they know what they're walking themselves into. Yeah. And then 2 months into the job, they're like, "What the hell is this?" Pochettino came into the job saying all the right things, and then reality slapped him in the face. Slapped him in the face. Graham Potter, I'm sorry, but the guy probably borderline depression. Realistically, that guy, and he looked like he aged 50 years in 2 days.
Yeah, it was really bad.
That's what I'm saying.
The boys gave everything, those
bro. This is my biggest issue. That was my biggest issue, and my biggest concern with Maresca. He's gonna walk in and he's gonna crumble. Literally the first game against Man City, his first game at Stamford Bridge, the fans were booing. The fans was like, "Move the ball faster." The fans were like, "We're not having it." So any other manager would crumble, but no, he set his boundaries, he set his standards, he made his message clear to the fans and to the players, and like it or not, we're seeing a bit of rewards to that. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in, man. Big up to Habibi Mo. Judge Mo, if you're not already subscribed to Mo, then you shouldn't be on YouTube. You should probably delete your account. But I believe Mo is on the road to 30k. Bismillah, mashallah. So make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to Mo. And yeah, if you're not already subscribed to him, then yeah, delete your channel, bro. What Abraham? And you always come here and ask me these weird questions. Why do I care about what happened to Mod? And how do I know what happened to the Donny, bro? All I know is he's off Twitter. I know as much as you, bro. I know as much as you. But like, let's be real, man. No one really cares about Mod. But yeah, my biggest issue was that he's gonna come here and completely crumble under pressure. But he hasn't done that. He's actually done the complete opposite. He knows that the direction he wants to go into. The players seem to believe in what he wants to do. All the stuff he's saying in the media makes sense. You know, he's got rid of players that he doesn't want. He doesn't want to sit here and waste time, you know, and use players that are not going to be useful for him. You know, it doesn't matter who it was, whether it's Ben Chilwell on 200 grand a week, whether it's Raheem Sterling on 300 grand a week with his experience, or whether it's Carney, who we've barely seen all season, who a lot of Chelsea fans rate and is a younger player. It doesn't matter. He has his players that he wants and he's using them. In terms of the results, like I said, it's been inconsistent. You know, you go from slapping Wolves 6-2 to drawing at home to Crystal Palace. You know, you go from beating West Ham 3-0, you know, and then beating Borough 5-0 to then Nottingham Forest result happens, you know, and even Brighton, you beat Brighton, you know, but even in moments in those games, especially games like Brighton, you see a game and when West Ham, you see the team building. You know, we're struggling, especially West Ham. We struggled after we scored a goal, but the team got through halftime. They came back in the second half and they responded. Brighton, of course, you know, a very rough start to the game. You know, Sanchez making a lot of mistakes, but the way they responded, it shows signs of an actual team. But now is the big test, and it's not only Liverpool. As much as Liverpool fans love to gas themselves up, I think they're going to absolutely slap us. In case no one knows, but our next run of games is absolutely crazy. You know, you got Liverpool away,
Newcastle.
You got that bloody Conference League. I'm not gonna forget them. You know, you got Newcastle at home, Newcastle away in the cup, United away, Arsenal at home. I mean, that is where you're gonna really see what Chelsea are made of, what Maresca is made of. Because I think that would give you an absolute great indication to where Chelsea are going to be coming towards the end of the season. I think we're going to get top 4 anyway. You know, the amount of talk I've had with a lot of people last season is whether our players is good enough or not. And you know, Mo was just in the chat. Hussam, like no one rated our players. No one rated ever players. They were all saying they were overrated and we were overrating them and the price tag was too heavy. No one rated them. But one thing a lot of people are not realizing is that this is basically the same exact squad.
Yeah, pretty much.
You look at the team that is playing last season and playing now. It's Jadon Sancho and it's Wesley Fofana.
Fofana, yep.
And I was listening them many times. I told Mo and I told everyone multiple times. Okay, multiple times, right? Don't ignore Lavia. Don't ignore Fofana. Don't ignore these quality players that are injured because they're gonna have an effect next season. But no one wants to listen. But see, like, even look, Hussam, the absolute fraud. At least he's liking it, you know. Usually he dislikes my videos, so I don't think he can do that on YouTube anymore. Anyway, but you know, he usually unsubscribes it. You know, he plays games. But big up to Fan Marshall. Yeah, liking the video. Yeah, big up, man. Big up, Hussam. Listen. You better win on Sunday, bro. I swear to God, you better win. You and your Tom Little rubbish idiots. You better win, bro. I promise you and your bold manager. My bold manager is better than your bold manager. My bold manager is manager of the bloody month. Yeah,
this is
manager
true.
of the month. Yeah, Cole Palmer, player of the month. Okay, respect yourself. Mohamed Shisha Salah, and the guy's about to retire tomorrow, bro. Leave him alone. Yeah, listen, don't worry, Hassan. Don't worry. Big up to Ashraf Habibi. Subscribe if you haven't. Smash a like and show Zizu some love. Guys, we are very close to, we're not very close, but we're not that far off 2K, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure we're showing some love.
Yeah,
and of course,
subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff.
And of course, Marshall and Casually, link in the description is show some love. But yeah, so top 4 was never an issue for me. And our squad is basically the same, like I was saying. So this is nothing new. Everyone acting shocked if we do get top 4 or, you know, or we do good things in the season and beat the big teams. I don't know why it will be shocking because the team is the same. We just got a manager that's putting it together better.
That's the things he had. Like last season, you know, I had tamed expectations of last season. One, because I was trepidatious of Mauricio Pochettino. Like, I never liked the manager. I never thought he was that good of a manager. I think what he did at Tottenham, sure, that's good for Tottenham standards, but it's not good for Chelsea standards. Yeah, sure, it's impressive, but was it the team or was it his tactics? And listen, maybe that's too much bias on my half, but I was trepidatious last season when I set expectations. And I said, okay, it's a young team. It's inexperience. This is the first year of the manager. 6th place, right? And he did end up reaching that, but God, it was so much harder than it needed to be. We remember that first half of the season. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. And like most Chelsea fans, like most rival fans, they have recency bias. And they only want to remember the last few games of the season where like we were undefeated for 10 in a row or something like that. We picked up points. If we had won against Burnley and Nottingham Forest, we were in the top 4. So it's like these little details that people seem to forget. But this team, from the very get-go, was always a top 4 side team. I always believe the talent is there. It just required a manager to set them up properly. And now we're seeing that Pochettino clearly wasn't that manager. We have the players coming out saying that, oh, I hated left back. Oh, I felt like I wasn't happy last season with my play time. Some players were rushed. We're seeing like the injury crisis of last year compared to this year. Like we had 1 injury this year right now, and not even. Right now, we have no injuries. No injuries, Ziad. Last year, this time around, we had 10. We had reports every week like this is the daily injury update, you know? Like it was absurd. So it was clear that the manager choice wasn't right. I do criticize the recruitment a little bit for that, but I think maybe it was one of those like, okay, we need someone to hold the ship until the right guy comes in.
I mean, of course, you got to blame the recruitment team, but I have to blame Pochettino for his lack of brain cells. I have to blame him for that because I'm sorry. You know, it's not even like the players he put in certain positions was bad enough, but I'm sorry. The guy is treating the players like I actually don't know. Basically robots. I was trying to find a better word, but basically
androids
robots
or machines. Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many minutes you played. It doesn't matter when you came back from injury. It doesn't matter your injury. That doesn't matter. You're all being treated the same. I mean, is this guy? You know, is he got a screw loose? Like, what's his problem? And what made it worse is that I don't know your opinion on this, but any single time I hear people blame the medical team, I want to throw this laptop outside the window. Okay, the amount of times it's been reliably told to you, Matt Law himself has said that Pochettino was literally having arguments with the medical team. He was disagreeing with the medical team on when players should be returning.
Yeah.
But it's the medical team. These professionals that have been doing their job for the last 2 decades, all of a sudden they're making mistakes. It's not a type of job you make a mistake in.
It's just insane to me. Like, how can someone see that Leslie Ugochukwu, right? Remember last season, Leslie Ugochukwu just came back from injury, and instead of playing like a Matos or experimenting, mind you, like at the time, me and Ahmed had a little bit. Shout out Ahmed. Me and Ahmed had a little bit of back and forth about this. About do you start Ugochukwu or do you put in a kid like Matos in that game? And Ugochukwu starts first week back from injury, fresh off injury.
2 training sessions, by the way. Sorry to cut you off. 2 training, and I know this for a fact. I know he had 2. You know what? He had 2 training sessions before coming back from a hamstring injury before he started that game.
Starts the game, gets injured for the rest of the season. Lavia rushed in, 35 minutes. That same game, I'm pretty sure. Injured for the rest of the season. Reece James, forget about it. We didn't even see him. It was just injury after injury after injury, and it was horrible. Enzo Fernandez, the best example. Enzo Fernandez last season, from December onward, just being forced to play with a hernia the whole time. It's not like Pochettino isn't informed of these things. He has to be. He's the manager, and it's just annoying. It really upset me, and now I'm glad that we have a manager who's competent, smart enough. And you know what? People were saying like, oh, they bought him in because he's a yes man, all this stuff. I don't know about you, Ziad, but he doesn't strike me as a yes man. He seems to do whatever he wants, plays whoever he needs. If you're not good enough, you don't play for the team, you get caught out and whatever. Like I know they brought him in to be a coach and just coach, but he seems to have a lot of power and he seems to really be stomping his authority in this team compared to Pochettino.
I mean, listen, when he's coming in saying Raheem Sterling, I don't care how many wages you're on and buy Ben Chilwell, pack up your shit, mate. Carney, who's apparently on big wages for his age, they're not really bothered. Listen, at the end of the day, he clearly understands that. Listen, this yes man thing was also nonsense because the Athletic said many times that people obviously we know it, but people pick and choose what they want to. They read something, but like they don't want to believe it. No, I'll believe it. The amount of times the Athletic said Chelsea are looking for someone that can work. They can work with. That they don't dictate the transfer market, for example, but they have a say in. They don't dictate everything, but they have a say in. all of a sudden that means you're a yes man. No. If a manager walks in, thinks he's going to get every single word in and say everything goes his way, then mate, you need to go to a Sunday league team. Maybe you'll get your own way there. Maybe you get your own way there, but you're not going to get it at a elite club. Okay. But the main thing is people listen. The amount of players within Kunku and Lavia, and like you said now, Abdulmas Prime mentioned as well that our injury problem is not there. It's non-existent. Zero injuries. Reece James come back. Lavia is available, been available. We don't have injury records or injuries because the manager knows what he's doing. He understands that every player needs to be treated in a certain way. This is not FIFA where you just play players and you let them run.
Exactly.
Everyone has different now, Malo Gusto came out from injury. He only played about 45 minutes. Then he subbed them off. Neto's been, not been playing crazy minutes, especially with our squad. Our squad allows us to do these things. But last season, it doesn't matter because the manager was getting every single player injured. So that's a massive change we're seeing with Maresca and obviously Pochettino. But then also 100%. Obviously the words. I can actually understand what this guy is saying in a press conference, and I'm being deadly serious. Like last season, I'm not gonna lie to you. Last season, I was listening to some of his press conferences. I'm like, bro, am I bugging or this guy is not speaking English? I'm like, bro, if I can't understand the guy's talking basically PR, basic PR rubbish. What the hell? How the hell the players gonna understand what the guy's saying? When he's actually trying to give them tactics. Like the guy.
Dude, I remember it was so peak last season. Like the amount of quotes that would come out, and mind you, like I know a lot of those quotes are journalists. Obviously, when Chelsea are down bad, the journalists are like sharks. They love to just make a story out of anything from Chelsea. But last season, I remember a lot of those quotes being taken out of context and it made it look worse than it actually was. But Pochettino never helped himself. The things that he would say, the times that he would throw the players under the bus, the lack of accountability on his half as well. Like it was just, you could tell, like the flip-flopping too was the worst part. Because like in the beginning, he was saying the right things, right? And we were like, okay, I mean, he's not acting Spursy, he's saying all the right things. And then halfway through the season, he's like, yeah, we can't compete. Like, this team is not ready for the competition and all this and that. And, this team is still young. It's very inexperienced and need experienced players. All this bull crap that he was talking about. And then you have a Enzo Maresca that comes in comparison and tells it to you like it is. And to an extent, too, I think he's underselling the team. Like, he just came out and said, like, oh, we're not ready to compete with Arsenal, Man City. I think he's saying that just to get some pressure off of him. I think the team actually does believe that they can compete and they can go for it. But, one game at a time. But it's just a staunch difference between how this guy speaks and how the other one speaks. And I respect it. He's a straight shooter. He's not fluffing it up. He's not feeding me a narrative or a fantasy to make me like him. He's just being himself.
Yeah, he's definitely big. This is hilarious, by the way. Pochettino halftime talk would be "Vamos, yalla, run." That is,
and that's the other things he had. Like, remember last season when we would go into a game, we're like, okay, we didn't look too bad in the first half. Hopefully, we can be clinical and capitalize the second half. And then the second half, heads down, players didn't care. I don't know what Pochettino would say in the second half, and we would just capitulate. Happened all the time. We were first half FC. Under Graham Potter, we were second half FC. Now under Maresca, it feels like we're actually full 90 minutes FC. Like we can perform in the beginning, stabilize it, and come out better the second half.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's clear to see that he's got a plan and a vision, and we saw that in preseason. Obviously, preseason wasn't amazing. A lot of people were worried, but at the end of the day, I think it's clear to see that he's following a certain blueprint and an idea that no matter what, he's going to stick by. Because even when we do bad, obviously he says it's not good enough. Even when we win games, we can improve. There's things where we can improve on. So because he sees the end goal. And he knows there's pieces that are missing. But when someone sees an end goal and he sees us working towards something, it doesn't matter if you're progressing towards it. At the end of the day, you know that you're not perfect until you get there. I mean, so listen, end of the day, we know right now, manager of the month, he's done well so far. But the big tests is the run of games. Anfield away, Arsenal, Newcastle. Who else? Liverpool, Newcastle. I think even United
away, Arsenal.
Wow.
And listen, I'm not even gonna I know you overlooked it, but Panathinaikos is going to be not an easy match. It's probably like one of the hardest.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Teams.
I saw the name and I was like, I'm not bothered.
No, but they're the Greek team that like I'm like, okay, that one we might, it's going to give us a challenge. There's not many teams in the Conference League that I'm worried about, but the ones that could come up with a surprise, that one's one of them, and Fiorentina's the other one. But yeah, like it's a tough run of fixtures, and I'm excited. Like unlike last season, Ziad, this season I'm actually excited to see what this team can actually do against these top sides. I hadn't felt this way since Tuchel walked in the door.
Yeah, I mean, Tuchel walking through the door. Listen, man, I don't think anything will beat that. That was the craziest thing ever because I'll tell you something. I was at the time I was fuming that Lampard left. I was like fuming, and then when Tuchel walked in, it was crazy. But listen. At the end of the day, we just gotta wait. But I think top four. Unless we lose we're not gonna lose all those games. But even if we don't come out with say like 3 wins or so, for example, I still think top 4 is possible. Like, because look at last season, how bad we were. We were so bad. Half our squad was in the hospital for the whole season, basically. And we were still a couple points off top 4. Like, and I'm seriously, no one that is finished below us or finished above us a bit, like no Tottenham, Aston Villa. I don't think they've gone through the roof in terms of improvement for us to fall that low. So regardless, I think we're going to get top 4. I think it just depends on how we get top 4. And obviously the Conference League, that's like no brainer. But I want us to go for the Carabao Cup as well and the FA Cup. I will never shit on the trophies again in my life, especially the Carabao Cup. The amount of times
especially going 2 seasons without one, man. Like,
bro,
now we have
the amount of times I've seen us lose that trophy in real life. I mean, listen, man, I will celebrate so hard if we win that. So we need trophies, we need W's. But right now it's going well. Obviously there's a few talking points, a couple negatives. I have put them in the thumbnail. Before we get into the positives, apparently it's a negative now that this guy is always a talking point, always has to be spoken about, whether it's rivals, whether it's Chelsea fans, and that is the role of Enzo Fernandez at Chelsea Football Club. Is he overrated? Is he underrated? Waste of money? What does he actually do? What is his role? Is he just a B-Tech Jorginho? Is he just a little bit better than Jorginho? I mean, I've got my opinions. I think people just like to complicate life when it comes to Enzo Fernandez. I'll let you have your say on Enzo, but I just think people complicate it. But go on, and then I'll let you know.
I mean, I feel like to a certain degree, you're right. Like, there is a portion of the fan base that they look at the price tag, they look at the performances, and they're thinking, this guy's not worth the money. This guy's not worth the cash that we brought him in for. And listen, at the end of the day, players don't put the price tag on themselves. Like, I even though I think Moises Caicedo is the best midfielder right now in the Premier League, you can argue Gravenberch, sure. But even though I think he's the best midfielder in the Premier League, is he living up to his price tag of 110, 150 million pounds? I don't think so. That price tag, to live up to that price tag, you need to be like one of the best in the world. And I'm not trying to bash Moises Caicedo. I think he's been phenomenal, but it's unrealistic pricing. It's unrealistic expectations to put on a player. So for one, like, I feel like that's where people come from, and it doesn't help the stupidity they did in the summer with the controversy. That never helped, obviously. But with Enzo, me and you, and I say this confidently because I think me and you both understand there is a very good player in there. Like, there's no world where you tell me he is shit when this guy was in the team that won the World Cup, was in the team that won the Copa America twice. So, like, he has a role in that team. He is a good player. There is a reason why multiple teams were after him. I have people telling me that right now this player goes, he he does a good job at Real Madrid because he replaces that Toni Kroos role because he shares a similar profile to Toni Kroos. And that's a player that right now Real Madrid are missing, and it's affecting them badly. Right now, Enzo goes to Real Madrid and fulfills that role, and he does good. I think a large part of it is that, to an extent, I don't think he's living up to the expectations of, forget the money. how good he could be. Because me and you have seen how good he is. We remember Aston Villa last season. We remember the opening game of Liverpool, how he bossed the midfield. We remember multiple games where Enzo Fernandez was key, clinical, Luton. Multiple games. The free kick he had. There's so many moments with Enzo that we've seen him play so well. When he came into this team under Graham Potter, the passing, the creativity, like this guy was bossing the midfield and he showed, brilliance. But it's slowly but surely been kind of dumbing down. And now it's to the point this season where, let's be honest, the last game we had against Nottingham Forest, frustrating result. Enzo Fernandez had a howler of a game. We were just looking up the stats yesterday. He got dispossessed 10 times in that game. You don't want that from your midfielder. You want a midfielder, especially in a possession-based system, you want your midfielder to keep most of the possession. His tackling percentages, his stats defending-wise have gone down significantly since last season. Whether that's the setup or that's the player himself, who knows? And what makes it worse, unfortunately for him, is that now he's been made captain. So then you have all eyes on you. You have the high expectations that we as Chelsea fans have seen you perform at, and you're not living up to the expectations, even consistently. It's frustrating. But I know, a portion of Chelsea fans know this guy is a baller. Like, there is a good player in there. If you use him correctly, he is a phenomenal player. At the age of 23, to have done what he's done, to play the games that he's played, to go from River Plate to Benfica to Chelsea now, and just boss midfields and boss and control games and set tempos the way he has. Like, you know what it feels like, Ziad? And maybe you agree, maybe you don't agree, maybe you liked him, maybe you didn't. And I said this when he came in. Watch. Everyone that had a Jorginho agenda is now going to have a Enzo agenda. There's always going to be that scapegoat. And I don't know if you remember the amount of times that Jorginho was scapegoated in this team. And I respected Jorginho a lot. I know he had weaknesses, but his strengths were amazing. And I always counted on him for his strengths. And he was always good in those things. I think when it comes to Enzo, people also put expectations on him like, oh, you're not good at defending. He was never good at defending. Even when he was at Benfica, his defending stats weren't as good as Jorginho's. So why are you going to count on him to defend? Is he bagging goals all the time? Well, he wasn't bagging goals all the time as a Benfica. So why are you counting on him to bag you goals this season, bag you goals last season? This season alone, if you're watching the games, this season alone, he's been robbed of multiple assists. He's had multiple key passes that didn't fruition to anything because he attack fumbled it. It's a lot of ups and downs. You can't just look at it black or white. One, he's either shit or he's either good. Like, there's a lot of middle ground, and I feel like people don't want to have that conversation, man.
Listen, first of all, this is a lie. Especially Liverpool fan saying that is, I mean, he literally...
Denial.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to rewatch that game, then you can watch it. But that game, he literally... let me tell you something. First of all, what you said was spot on about the players in terms of, if anyone thinks here, Caicedo, Declan Rice, I don't care who it is. If any of you guys actually think these men are worth £100 million, 105, 110, I'm sorry. One, they're not worth it. Two, they're not playing like it. I don't give a shit who you think they are. Declan Rice is not playing and is not played up to worthy of £100 million. He just isn't. Okay, let's just leave it at that. And 100%. One thing I've said earlier, people complicate life for Enzo Fernandez. They expect him to always get goals or assists. They expect him to always be 10 out of 10 in the final third. The best I've seen from Enzo Fernandez in a Chelsea shirt, I don't give a shit about Benfica, Argentina. The best thing I've seen about him in a Chelsea shirt is when you allow the guy to play his football.
Yep.
When you don't have expectation on him to get assists and goals. But I think right now in this system, maybe we're more reliant on someone to get goals and assists in that position, which may be an issue. That may be an issue. Okay. But what I'm saying is, for anyone to look at Enzo Fernandez and sit and expect him to consistently get goals or assists, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. The guy is literally, the best I've seen him play for Chelsea is collect the ball from the defenders, dictate play, pick out a pass, etc., etc. You know, have a little bit of energy in the midfield. But the moment we are expecting Enzo Fernandez to be brilliant in the final third, we've already lost.
Yeah.
And that's the moment That's a lot of things people criticize Enzo Fernandez for, especially in the last game against Forest, is that he took too long to do this in the final third. He should have crossed it when he should have done that. But guess what? He also had great link up play with Sancho in the final third for the Brighton goal, where he got a penalty. Sancho got the penalty. The point is, if you're expecting Enzo Fernandez to play like a maybe a Drewsbury Hall would be in that position, or the way Palmer, you're not understanding what Enzo Fernandez's role is.
Yeah.
But because of his price tag, because he's South American, he's from Argentina, because he's got hella tattoos, because he wears tape around his wrists, because he was young player of the tournament in the World Cup, everyone expects to see him be some fancy player. Enzo Fernandez is not a fancy player. He's a very simple player. He collects the ball, he dictates play, and he picks out passes. Simple as that. Variation of passes, whether that's deep, but there's also games where he could do it at the start, towards the edge of the box, of the 18-yard box of the opposing team, like the assist he did against West Ham, like I just mentioned against Brighton, like many passes he did throughout the last season. He picks out passes, but when you're expecting him to always do something in the final third, you're misprofiling him. You're expecting too much from him. And like I said, because of his fancy tattoos and whatnot, everyone thinks he's someone that he's not. He's a simple player. And people say, "Oh, 105 million for the bro." That he's still a good player. That was young player of the tournament at the World Cup. He's still a player that a lot of players wanted. Guess what? Yeah. If we didn't go for him, he would probably be at a bigger club than Chelsea right now.
Probably.
And I'm saying that as a Chelsea fan. Right now, even if we didn't get him, he probably would have been at a bigger club right now than Chelsea. So anyone that's denying his ability, then you lost your mind. Okay.
And that's the thing too. Like, I think this season with Enzo, I want to be patient because I understand the frustration. Like, he hasn't been top tier, like Moises Caicedo has stood out. Like, this season, he has been phenomenal. You see it on the pitch. Enzo, up, down, up, down, up, down. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes like, not impressive, not wowing me, which it is what it is. Like, to an extent too, like the midfield position, people forget, like, Ziad, we grew up in a generation where, like, an 8 was an 8. Not every single midfielder in the world was like a Modric or even a Frank Lampard. There were midfielders that were just good at passing the ball around, maintaining possession. They did their job. Connect the defense to the attack to the defense, so on and so forth. Like, they kept it simple. And Enzo is one of those 8s. But in this system, I think to an extent he is struggling to find his place, his positioning. I know he's understanding with Moises Caicedo a lot better this season, but I think Enzo Maresca has the task of, like, okay, I need to figure out how to get the best of this player. And sometimes I think there's oppositions where he just doesn't suit that game. You would think against Nottingham Forest, low block, yeah, that's a game that suits him, but he had a stinker. For what reason? I don't know, but he had a stinker. Couldn't even get across from a corner out. He actually had a stinker. But he had moments where he did make something happen, nothing came of it. Now with Lavia in the equation, now we're going to have a conversation of, like, who is better suited for this match? Lavia, Enzo, Caicedo, who of the 3 am I going to use? And you can even throw in KDH in there. You can throw in maybe Cassidy in there. Not that I would trust him in the Premier League right now. I think he's still too young and too raw. But now it's on the manager. Like, you need to find out the best way to play him, what games are the best games to play him in. And I think Maresca is that kind of tactician where he will think about all those details. And we will see Enzo have really good games, and we'll see him have some games where it doesn't suit him.
Yeah. I think you just got to figure out the way, because I swear it was Man City where they all started. Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, and Lavia, all of them started.
Yeah.
And then it was Palmer on the right. But I honestly, people saying they wouldn't play him against Liverpool. I don't know, because I just feel like, it's a very big pitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a very, very big pitch. And one thing I don't know why it's taking me so long to. I always knew our pitch was small, but bloody hell, it is tiny. Oh my god! I don't know why it's really hit me. It's really hit me, bro. When I see us playing at home compared to other games, now, bro, the players look like it's so hard. But it's not saying that as an excuse. I'm just saying in general. I honestly think people love to complicate.
It makes a difference.
Of course, it makes a difference. And just in general, people just like to complicate what
Yeah,
Enzo
yeah.
Fernandez's role is because of what they thought he was. Well, it's your own problem. It's your own problem. You
Hmm.
came to this kind of conclusion. But in terms of against Liverpool, look, I wouldn't mind seeing Palmer on the right wing. I think
Me neither.
this notion that Palmer can't play right wing, and it's that guy literally played 98% of his games last season as a right winger, and he was by
Hmm.
far our best player and by far one of the best players in the league. So it's the fact that he can't.
100%.
People say he can't play right wing is nonsense.
Yeah, I
Is
agree.
he a touchline winger? You know that's going to drive at you, skills, take
Hmm.
you on, and like maybe not. Maybe that's why Maresca doesn't like him there. He's not the same profile as Noni Madueke. But
Hmm.
I would on that kind of big pitch, maybe I wouldn't mind him seeing there, and then you play Enzo as well in midfield. You know,
Hmm. I think
Lavia, Caicedo.
so. When I watched that Man City game a second time, and I paid closer attention to the players that time. Because when you watch it the first time, there's emotions, and you're like on the edge of your seat because you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe you're not paying as close attention as possible. Enzo Fernandez in the 10 role did everything right except the final part of it, which was the touch and the finish. That's the thing. Like, he knows how to get into attacking spaces. He knows how to find dangerous opportunities and dangerous chances. He did decently in that aspect, but we trash on him because he lost possession so much because his touch was horrendous in the final third. But everything else there was good. And even Palmer, like people say Palmer had a quiet game. Every time Palmer had the ball on the right wing, and mind you, Palmer was also not fit in that game. There was his second game back from Chelsea because he was in the Euros, so he wasn't fully fit or even adapted to the system. But every time he had the ball, he created a chance, and we just weren't clinical on that day. We had chances, even in Nkunku to a certain extent on the left wing. He looked good, but again, we didn't finish our chances. So I think Maresca is gonna be versatile in the tactics. Again, I wouldn't mind seeing Palmer on the right wing and Nkunku in the 10. But Maresca said, and something that I appreciate that he pays attention to that I didn't pay attention to, is that if I do that, then who defends? Because right now, Palmer, when off the ball, Palmer is fantastic. He'll dispossess whoever has the ball most of the times. He'll get there. He'll press the player, whether it be Konate, Van Dijk, Trent, or Robertson, or whoever's playing on right back. He'll press them. He'll try to dispossess them. Jackson's the same thing. And Nkunku, I don't see that often. So it's all these factors that he has to take into consideration. And looking back at those games, seeing okay, what worked, what didn't work. And there's some things that worked. So again, I wouldn't be upset if he changed it up a little bit, because again, he's won my trust as of right now. Enzo Maresca's won my trust, but I do want to see what happens in the Liverpool game, the Man United game, so on and so forth. Arsenal.
Yeah. I'll be give Enzo the same excuse as Palmer and Cucurella. They just came from international. Wait, what? Maybe.
I don't.
I mean,
Yeah, Enzo was out for a bit, but he came a week earlier than Palmer and Cucurella.
Palmer only works if Gusto overlaps in the system. It won't work. Stop
That's not
shoehorning
true.
Enzo already. We need to install the idea into Perez's head and send him with a loss. Wow.
They would, if we offered Real Madrid Enzo, they would bite on it. I know they would.
I can right now. My understanding of the system, I can see why people don't think that. I'm gonna say it now. 7 games into the season, very early. But right now in this system, I don't think the system can get the best out of Enzo Fernandez. I just think that role next to Palmer is just maybe too reliant on goals and assists. Maybe it's not. Maybe Maresca just wants the way what he did against Brighton, for example, picks out a few good passes. He's picked out an amazing pass to Jackson in that game as well. So maybe no, he does like it that way. Someone like Palmer can get the goals and assists. Someone like Enzo who can pick out amazing passes. So listen, like I said, it is a bit of controversy, but I still think it's the same thing as usual because of how good he was in the World Cup, because of how many people wanted him and how highly he's rated, like it or not. People will expect more of him. They expect a fancy player when he's just not that. People need to accept it.
Yeah, I mean, even like, because I see Toxic Tosh in his comment. Like, listen, Cruz at Real Madrid. If you watch Real Madrid, if you properly watch Real Madrid, Cruz at Real Madrid is such a similar profile to what Enzo Fernandez is right now. He just set the tempo of the game. You always saw him in the back, deep lie playmaking, pinging passes and pinging crosses and stuff. He never went to attacking third. He never did any of that stuff. His role was to set the tempo of the game, control that portion of the midfield, and defend the defense as best as he could. Enzo Fernandez is a similar role, a similar profile. So yes, if Real Madrid are recruiting properly, then the best profile that they can get in the market would be someone like an Enzo. So he does go into that team. You fill the gap that Cruz left.
I can guarantee you guys now, not Enzo Maresca, Enzo Fernandez will as much as it may pain for us to say it, like he will upgrade on us when he leaves. I can almost guarantee that he will upgrade on us. He will go to a better club, a bigger club.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's the other thing too. Like, I guarantee you, he goes to another club and people start to read him. I guarantee you he goes to Real Madrid.
I guarantee you he goes to Real Madrid or Barcelona. I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee it. And then what will people say? Oh, but he's in the Spanish league. I mean, listen, man, I think people have made their mind up. Sadly, on Enzo. I mean, look, big up the pan on the chat. Hope you have a good day. And then but the first one. Big up to Papa Beard. Look at this. We finally arrived that Enzo's not good enough. Come on, bro.
Again,
how we come to this
conclusion? Say
that. We can't come to this conclusion, man.
Yeah.
He's another Jorginho. Anyway, man. I mean, this is Toxic Tash. Let's be real, man. You're a Liverpool fan. You saw the first game of the season last year. If you think that's a bad player, then let's be real here, man. Yeah. No, I literally said it a couple of minutes ago. I just feel. Maybe in this system, is either we're asking too much of him in that role, or we just can't get the best out of him. But Papa Bear, don't forget that he's made a lot of quality passes playing this position. I honestly feel the biggest issue we have as Chelsea fans and even rivals is that they expect something from Enzo Fernandez that he's never shown before. Like,
it was the same thing with Jorginho. It was the same exact thing with Jorginho.
You're expecting Enzo Fernandez to be, I don't know who, Oscar or bloody the way even Palmer plays now in midfield. Like this is what you guys are expecting from him. I don't know why. I don't know why. But more on a positive note. No, go on.
Yeah, no. And the other thing I was going to say, just to if we want to transition to another topic, it's only 7 games into the season.
Yep.
Like, let's see how Enzo develops and how he looks later on the rest of the season. Like, at the end of the season, when we get to the summer, then we can look at the whole work and not just this first little chunk, like this first quarter of the season. Like, there's still 3 quarters of the season left to play. We need to see what Enzo can do and how he can benefit the team. Because at the same time, too, like Ziad, and I think you would agree, we're still figuring out the system. We're still figuring out little pieces here and there. Like, there's still movement. We don't know if Nani should start anymore or it should be Neto. Jadon's been looking decent. You know, what's going to happen with Reece when he comes back now? Is Malo Gusto still going to start? Do we want to do Tosin over Fofana? Like, there's still little pieces to the system and the formation that we haven't figured out yet. So it's still early days to say, like, oh, let's sell him, let's get rid of him, you know?
Yeah. That's something that can be spoken about. Madueke, Neto on the right wing. I mean, Madueke has been a massive talking point. He's too greedy, and that. Listen, I think people have taken it too far. I have said a couple of times that I think he's greedy. Maybe you know what the better wording might have been. He's got poor decision making. I think that is probably better than saying he's greedy.
Yeah,
I think when he passes, he shoot. When he should pass, he shoots, and when he should shoot, he passes. You know, stuff like that. And his finishing is not to the level where he should be, where we can just miss out on chances from the shoot. Like, the amount of times he's taken a shot and there's about 3 players screaming at him is a bit too much. It is a bit too much. But I do agree that the stuff on Madueke is a bit too far.
Yeah, I think so too, because again, we go back to like the expectations that people put on players and what they see. I think, listen, I'll admit, when I watch football, I'm looking at the attack. I like to see the attack. I like to see who's making the interesting passes and stuff. I have this tendency to gravitate towards watching that and picking that out versus the defensive stuff. Like I see the defensive things after the fact, and then I'm like, oh yeah, he did make that tackle. Sometimes it's like a nice tackle, it stands out, whatever. But when I watch Nani, I was on the same boat where I was kind of being critical about he's too selfish. He's trying to take shot all the time. Look around you, try to pass the ball, so on and so forth. And people have been critical of that, which rightfully so. I think that is something he needs to improve on, the decision making, like you said. But something that people aren't looking at, and again, I keep driving this home. Enzo Maresca wants players that are good defensively as well as they are offensively, because as a unit, as a team, we defend as a team. It's not just the pivot and the 5 defenders and then Nani and Sancho are just watching from the sidelines. They need to come back and defend as well. Nani Madueke has improved on that aspect. He finally tracks back. He helps out Malo Gusto when he needs help defensively. We see him like... do you remember when he first came in, how often we would just see him ball watch and just like see the attack go through and they're like, Nani, what are you doing, bro? Like, why are you just standing there not doing anything? João Felix had the same issue when he first came into Chelsea. Like, it's frustrating, it's infuriating to see that. I've not seen that this season. He's been a lot better when it comes to the defensive work, and that's an important aspect of the game too. People don't look at that.
Yeah, 100%. It is too far. Listen, let's go talk about positives now. Forget Madueke, forget Enzo. I think we've got the best player in the league. I do think we have the best player in the league.
I agree.
Mr. Cocaine, Cole Palmer. Yeah, the guy's a joke. The guy, like, that celebration, by the way. I'm sorry, you got Ronaldo's celebration, then you got Palmer's celebration. I don't care what anyone says. Honestly, you literally have Ronaldo's celebration, and now you have Palmer's celebration. Yep. That is literally, this guy has taken over the world. The guy has been at Chelsea for a year. His stats are a joke. His goals and assists are jokes. His performances are a joke. The way he's become basically the face of the Premier League in a year is a joke. The start of the season, I'm sorry, Marshall, talk to me about Cocaine Cole Palmer, bro. Have we got the best player in the league?
Bro, I would argue we have the best player in the world right now. Like, people think I'm taking it too far, but like, name me a player right now in form right now this season who's playing better than Cole Palmer. Name me a player right now in form this season that is giving me the numbers that Cole Palmer is giving me. The impact, the chances created, all the stats. People are impressed by Erling Haaland. I understand. He's a goal-scoring machine. He's a monster. But Cole Palmer is a monster as well. And he's not doing it from striking position. He's doing it from the number 10 position. People want to say, oh, Brighton tax. Don't Hussam? I'm watching you. Oh, Brighton tax. Okay, cool. Brighton tax. Why didn't Mo Salah do it against Brighton? Why didn't Heung-min Son do it against Brighton? Why didn't Erling Haaland score 4 against Brighton? Tell me that. If it's Brighton tax, if they're so bad, then why did Arsenal struggle to beat them? They drew points with them. Oh, Brighton tax? Okay, fine. You want to pretend like it's Brighton tax? The thing is, scoring goals is not easy in this game. And to be able to do 4 in one match and break, not even one match, in one half, and break Premier League records like that at the age of 23, you cannot deny that is impressive and that is world class in itself. This player is undeniable. This player is one of the best, if not the best in the world right now. It's phenomenal what he's doing, and people want to downplay it like it's not, oh, he did it against low opposition and stuff. Okay, well, fine. Let's see how it goes through the rest of the season. But last season, by himself, with a really just unhinged and unworking system under a manager who didn't know what the hell he was doing. His only tactic was run. Man was literally an R2 merchant. Literally. That's all he did. And Palmer still rose from that and helped carry this team on his back and still had the numbers that he had. Imagine if he was at Man City. Oh my God, he would have, first of all, he wouldn't have had all the playtime he gotten, but let's assume he did get all the playtime he got at Chelsea. He would have broken records last season. People would have made him player of the year. People would have said he's undeniable. He's the best player in the world. But because he's at Chelsea, it's a different agenda.
Yeah. Listen, obviously we know, like Palmer, I think I saw on Sky Sports that Palmer's, I think he's second in the calendar year from last September to the September that just went. In the last year, I think he's got the second most goals and assists in the whole of Europe after Haaland.
Mm-hmm.
That is for the team that he was playing in last season. That's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
That is
No,
not
it's
normal. Okay, that is literally not normal. So listen, but I do agree with this. Jassim saying the real Palmer test or the games coming up. I agree. I think it's a massive test for everyone. Massive test for everyone. The team, but also individuals, to see how they do. But this, like, what's Palmer stats against top big six clubs though? What does that matter? From the top of my head, last season, he scored against Man City. He scored against United about 4 times.
Yeah, he got a hat trick against United.
He got a hat trick against United at home, and then he scored at Old Trafford. So that's 4 goals in one game. Like, and then he scored against City. I'm trying to think what the games he played. Like, but it's like, what else are we like? Honestly, and this is Spurs. Which game? Spurs?
Did he score against Spurs? I don't remember. Maybe he did.
At home, he did.
And people want to say like the penalties and all that stuff. At the end of the day, too, you got to score the
penalties. Okay, Mr. Liverpool fan, toxic fan. Okay, take off Salah's goal penalties. Okay, let's see his goal record. Take away his penalties. Take away Mohamed Salah's penalties.
I'm saying.
He came into the Premier League and broke records. Okay, take away his penalties. Take away his penalties. But what's his like? Okay, how about you go score the penalty then? What are we talking
exactly.
about? Like, act that penalties. And you know what? Palmer said it best. People think, people say penalties don't count. Well, it's not like he's going to miss them. What do you want him to do? Miss them?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
You got to score them.
Spurs away, apparently. Spurs away. Spurs assist.
I don't remember. Did he score against Arsenal? I don't remember the first Arsenal match. I know it was Mudryk, and then I don't remember who else got a goal that game. Maybe it was Palmer, maybe it was Jackson. I don't remember.
Yeah, Arsenal away. Forget about it, bro. Arsenal home.
Yeah, we don't talk about that game. Yeah, the player's phenomenal, man.
Well, listen, man. Bruno Fernandez. Everyone loved Bruno Fernandez when he was scoring the goals. Exactly. Penalties, bro. Listen, man. You know what? The reality is, every single one here, Toxic Tash, Mags, whoever you lot support, bro, you would all love Palmer at your team. And if you say otherwise, then you're lying. Because can you lot in the chat name me teams that Palmer doesn't start for? Oh wait, penalties or what? Okay, so go on. Name me the penalty. Name me the teams that Cole Palmer does not start for.
This is what you're gonna hear. Just there's no answer. He starts. He walks into just about every team in the world. Like even right now at Man City, he would walk into Man City. Support, you don't think Guardiola would love to have Cole Palmer at Man City?
Who does he support? Go on, man. Wait. Rumors are City trying to buy back for 150 million. Okay, they can have his right leg for 150 million. I'll give him the right leg for 150 million. Go on. Tell me. I haven't seen any team, by the way. Like Madrid. Okay. Palmer doesn't start for. So you're telling me Rodrigo is better than Palmer?
You're telling me Jude Bellingham is better than Palmer?
Jude Bellingham is better. Oh my god! I will throw this phone across the room. Oh my god!
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Bellingham, the most overrated player. I said this months ago, probably even a year ago on the Gauss channel. But actually, you know what? It was a year ago. This guy is the most overrated player I've seen in my life, and the Euros was the. Are you having a laugh? Of course he does. Thank you, Tom. Man said Rodrigo is not better than Palmer. So I'm asking you guys right now, name me a team in the world that Cole Palmer does not start for. And what?
Yeah,
he starts for everyone. He starts for everyone. He starts for everyone. And anyone, I'm sorry, bro. Anyone here, anyone has the face to say Jude Bellingham is better than Palmer,
get blocked.
Block. I'm sorry, bro. Honestly,
it's crazy.
Man. Honestly. Please.
I'm not trying to say that Jude Bellingham is a bad player, but he definitely is as good as Cole Palmer.
No, he's shit. No. I don't care. Jude Bellingham is shit. I don't care. I said this a year ago. Jude Bellingham is shit.
Fair enough.
To the level people put him at, he is actually shit.
People are living off the first few games of last season.
Don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. To the level where people put Jude Bellingham, he's actually shit. He's dead. Yeah. No, he's actually dead. Okay, the fact that this Donny, okay, sat here and started in the number 10 position for England. Like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
And that's the thing too, that the fact that he didn't even start for England, Gareth Southgate, you're gonna have to hold that, man.
Okay, see, he remembers it. Ziad, I get you don't rate Bellingham from what I'm seeing in Al Ahwa, but why don't you? Why though? I don't get it. The guy is just not good. I don't see, like, when you compare him to the other players, Foden, Saka, England talents.
Mhm.
Forget Saka, right wing. Let's just say midfield, tens. Foden, Musiala, Palmer. These man are light years ahead of Bellingham. They're not on the same. They're not on the same level. I'm sorry. And to the levels this guy puts up, the people put Bellingham on this pedestal. He's just, bro. A Liverpool fan told me last year that he's the next Lampard.
Oh my god.
Huh?
What do you mean?
Bro, like,
What do you? That's
bro,
crazy.
I'm
Again,
telling you
that's
right,
living off the first few games of the season last season hype.
bro.
Because
You know
after
what, like,
those first few games where he was banging in goals and people were saying, "Oh, Ballon d'Or" and all this stuff, he fell off.
bro,
He
if
fell off.
Bellingham wins the Ballon d'Or, I'm never watching football again in my life. I'll give up. I'm locking off the whole channel. I'm locking off everything. I'm not watching
I
football
wouldn't
again.
blame you. I wouldn't
Bro,
blame you. I wouldn't blame
Jude
you.
Bellingham, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't even compare it. Don't compare it.
Yes.
Do not compare what Bellingham did at Real Madrid to compare what Chelsea did, what Palmer did at Chelsea. It's not the same level. Cole
Mags,
Palmer played about 35 seconds in the Euros, and he had better Euros than Bellingham.
Yep.
He played about 35 seconds in the Euros, and he had better Euros than Foden and Saka.
Max, just know that your take is so crazy that you have the Liverpool fan agreeing with us. So yeah, man, no, it's clear. Like, you look at the stats, you look at what both players can do in the creative aspect, and you look at what right now Cole Palmer is doing in the 10 position. Just like, if you don't even want to look at GA, you look at the rest of the stats, like chances created, expected goals, expected assists, all the whatever expected whatever you want to expect. He is so clear of Jude Bellingham. And especially, like I said, this season, he is right now, in my opinion, the best player in the world.
Oh, am I not allowed to adore Cole Palmer? Like, Cole Palmer, am I not allowed to? The guy is literally, arguably, the best player in the league and one of the best players in the world. And literally, I've asked you guys 20 minutes ago, name me teams this guy doesn't start for,
that's crazy.
and the chat has gone silent.
Imagine.
So, would you want me to literally the guy's gone, the chat has gone silent. I'm telling you, list teams, and you're the only Real Madrid fan who's saying that Rodrigo is better than Palmer.
Ziad, imagine if we came onto this Chelsea channel. This is your channel, right? The Chelsea channel. We came in and we just said, yo, Cole Palmer's overrated. He's not that good. He shouldn't start for Chelsea. And he's our main goal. He's leading our team in GA. He shouldn't start for Chelsea. He's not good enough for Chelsea. Imagine if we just came here and didn't big up our players. Like, what kind of fan channel would
I
this
will
be?
play is Cole Palmer. You act like I'm gassing up Drewsbury Hall, bro. The guy is
it's Cole Palmer.
bro, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this again because I said it a long time ago on the girls' channel. I'll find the bloody clip. The guy Bellingham, like, please, I don't want to hear that guy's name again in my life. Do not put him in the same conversation again with the likes of Musiala, Foden, Palmer, and if you want to talk generally speaking, young players, Yamal, do not do it again in your life, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Don't, because he's, I'm sorry, the most overrated player I've seen in my life. Okay, and this is why I said he's shit. He is to the level people put him at. He is shit. If you compare Bellingham, if anyone says Bellingham is better than Palmer, Bellingham is shit. If anyone says Bellingham is better than Musiala, Foden, Bellingham is shit because he's literally they're not on the same level. They're not on the same level. Oh my days,
Not
bro.
to mention too, again, not to disrespect La Liga, but like, when you look at how competitive the Premier League is, Palmer's doing it in a very, very competitive team with. You could even argue, like, and yeah, maybe you agree with this. Like, I don't think, talent-wise, I don't think our team is as good as Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid have a lot more talent. So Jude is putting up the numbers and playing the way he's playing in that team. Meanwhile, you have Palmer, who is doing a better job in a team that isn't as talented in a much more competitive league. Where's the logic?
Sorry, I'm late. Shut your mouth, mate.
Bellingham carried Madrid.
That's crazy.
Billah. He's
Crazy.
the biggest games of the season. The guy, wallah, I forgot he was playing. The Bayern Munich games, Man City. I forgot Bellingham was even playing.
That's so disrespectful to Vinicius. I mean,
Bro,
Anthony Cruz.
I literally forgot Bellingham. I'm not even lying. I swear to you, I forgot Bellingham was playing against Man City and Bayern Munich. I forgot the guy was even playing. And that is their biggest games of the whole season. I am
Insane
sorry.
take.
No way this guy he didn't carry Madrid to shit.
Insane take.
Oh my god. Bro, you would have won La Liga with I'm sorry, bruv. You would have won him without it, bruv. Oh, okay, he scored a good goal against Barcelona. Okay, wow. Yeah. One game, man.
For every good moment, good game that Bellingham had, we can name you 5 that Cole Palmer had last season. Like, that's how big of an impact Cole Palmer was. Cole Palmer actually carried Chelsea last season.
Was literally about
That's
to
what
be
that
the
looks
reason.
like.
Bro,
Yes.
Palmer was literally about to be the reason why we were going to play Champions League football. It would have been because of him. It would have been because of him.
It's insane to say that. That's crazy. You don't know what it looks like to carry a team. If you want to know what it looks like for a player to carry a team, watch Cole Palmer last season. Do your homework. Because Jude Bellingham did start off hot at Real Madrid, but you'd be lying to me if you told me he kept that going for the rest of the season, because he did not.
Okay, so the man scored. So you're saying he carried you for 2 games. And I'm telling you, both legs against Bayern Munich, both legs against Man City, I forgot the guy was playing. So where do we go from here? In the Champions League. Ban your Barcelona Real Madrid shit. We're talking about Champions League. Where was he? Champions League final. Where was he? So don't give me rubbish. Please don't give me rubbish. If the guy was that good and he was carrying you that much, then he would perform in the big games. In the massive big games. And not 2 games in the season. 1 game in October, the next game is in April. Come on, man. Oh, my days, bro. Oh, my days. Anyway, man. Listen, I think it's been an elite stream. I think we can sit and talk all day, but this Bellingham thing is just... Man, yeah, man.
I didn't expect that today. I'm not going to lie. That was a
Bellingham is just... Listen, man, forget Bellingham. We got Cole Palmer, man.
Exactly.
But yeah, listen, big test to come up for Chelsea, man. And for individuals,
100%.
Of course, Liverpool... here we go. Look, do we beat Liverpool?
Well, Ziad, I was going to ask you that too. Like, how do you feel about Liverpool? Because I feel confident, but I don't know. Where are you at with
Sorry,
that?
1 second. Bro, I have eyes. Tell me right now, Mags. Tell me, be serious. The games against Bayern Munich, the games against Man City, both legs. Tell me he did anything. Tell me you even knew the guy was playing. Tell me. Sorry, Marshall, go on.
You're fine. No. I just want to know what you think for Liverpool, man. How do you feel about that game going into it?
Listen, I think it's the biggest test so far. I know we played Man City, but first game of the season, a lot of question marks. I think now we're more, as you said, 7-8 games into the season. I think we're going to really see where this team's at. Of course, we got a couple of players back. Reece James, I mean, I don't think he'll play, but Lavia is available and whatnot. And I think, I don't think we'll lose. I think.
Would you be happy with a draw?
I'll take a draw. I'm going to say I'll go crazy party. But like I said, Liverpool fans, the way they've been talking, especially our some, they literally think they're going to walk past us. They literally think we're going to be a breeze in the park. And if that's not, it's for me, that's like, okay, cool. We walk away with a draw. I'll take that. You lot look like clowns. You're the ones that's home. You're the ones that's supposed to be finishing above us. So you better win. If we walk away with a draw, then I'll take it. I just don't want to see anything we've seen in recent games, which I don't think we will be. I don't think we'll get slapped. I don't think we'll get completely dominated. I don't think Slot will completely outsmart Maresca. I don't think anything will happen. I think we'll give them a very good game. I think we'll walk out with at least a point. I think
it is going to be a chess match for sure.
Yeah, and I think it depends on Maresca. We've seen him use his substitutions well, with Neto coming on at halftime and whatnot. But he's also, I think, some games he's taken too long to make substitutions. And I think depending on how the game is going, he's got to make the right substitutions at the right time. Whether that's bringing in Kuku on, whether it's bringing, Mudryk for his pace or Neto, whatever it may be, he needs to make substitutions at the right time. And I think if he does that, we walk away with a draw. But like Zedel was saying, bro, if the referee is Anthony Taylor, then bro, just because yes, tomorrow will be announced who the referee will be.
Really?
And I swear to God, if it's Anthony Taylor, then yeah.
We've already gotten Anthony Taylor twice this season. I'm pretty sure for 2 games.
But come on, man.
Yeah,
You know what they're like. You know what they're like.
Really sad.
You know what they're like. But yeah, I think we can walk away with a draw.
I think we can walk away with a win, to be honest with you. Because I'll be honest, Ziad, I watched the Crystal Palace Liverpool game, and I saw the first half. I saw pretty much exactly what happened at Chelsea, where like Crystal Palace were toothless and all this and that. And then the second half, Crystal Palace finally attacked, and they created more chances against Liverpool than they did against us. And with us, you remember the game, Eze, just a moment of brilliance. Like it was honestly a brilliant goal. Like nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
Against Liverpool, they created multiple moments like that, and just Alisson being Alisson, saving them. So I think if Crystal Palace can do it, I think Chelsea can do it. And Chelsea, I believe, are a lot more clinical than Crystal Palace. So I do think we can win. I really believe this team can win at Anfield.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully. But I do think we can, we'll get a draw. But yeah, listen, big up to every single one that's locked in, man. Make sure you like, subscribe on your way out. You got Casually FC in the link. The link is in the description, sorry. Show him some love. Big up to you, Marshall, man. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Of course, man. Like, this is a phenomenal show. So big up to everyone in the chat. Even the Jude lover. But yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. You guys, hopefully in the chat, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Like the video. It helps out Ziad and the channel grow. Let's get this man to 2,000. You said 2,000, right? 2,000 subscribers?
Yeah.
Let's get him to 2,000 subscribers, man. This guy's working hard to bring entertainment during the very dry international break as well. So, yeah, he's out here giving you guys content to watch to pass the time until the big day, right, October 20th.
Yeah, October 20th, we'll be there, man. Listen, big up to everyone locked in, man. Make sure you like, subscribe on your way out. I like the Chelsea, man. We'll see what happens. Big up to you.